All right, we ready, guys? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Litsoc. Before we get into this week's, we're just going to finish off last week by having Hannah's blackout poem, because she wasn't here, but she has spent a long time working on this. So if you could all listen to her blackout poem. I don't know if you want to give it an intro or if you want to get straight into it.
I just thought this is like my favourite page of literature ever. So I spent a lot of time picking out the best words from all over this page. So should I start?
By all means.
Okay. And as we leave Dun and Walton on the shores of meta-hemelism, we wave a fond farewell to those famous chums of yore. So actually I didn't change anything. But that's the best quote ever. So.
But you just wanted to read out that line. Chums of yore. Does anyone know why Hannah was quite keen to think back to previous Litsocs we might have done so far this term? Who was mentioned? Anyone notice who was mentioned? Which authors? Yeah?
William Blake? Wait, no.
No, it wasn't William Blake.
Really cares the quote.
That's a good idea.
Do you want to say it again?
Okay, it's a really good quote, guys. And as we leave Don and Walton on the shores of meta-hemelism,
Not a word.
we wave a fond farewell to those famous chums of yore.
Is it going to be like The Secret History or something? Right?
That is from Secret History, but think of Litsoc. Who are the authors mentioned there?
Who's Wilton?
There was... One more time? Or maybe just the names of the authors.
Don and Walton.
John Donne. Our memory's so short, people. Catherine Rundell. Yes. And that's when Hannah first mentioned, she said to me afterwards, Miss Humphreys, wasn't that mentioned in my favourite book, Secret History? So she's been, keen to get that inserted into a Litsoc for a while. So there we go.
The best blackout poem would just be nothing highlighted, but...
So it's not necessarily a blackout poem, it's just Hannah reading out some of her favourite literature, essentially. So there we go. But anyway, thank you, Hannah. Thank you for sharing your blackout poem effort with us. Right, okay, so this week, stay there because we're going to actually shut the camera off in a minute. Oh, yes. So this week we are going to talk about the Booker Prize. Now, I know that some of our veterans of Litsoc know what the Booker Prize is. Would anyone actually like to say what they know about the Booker Prize and what it is? Oh, you're all gone shy. Hannah, thank you.
It was actually invented to give Litsoc more themes to talk about when we can't think of...
What a very cynical answer that is. No, the Booker Prize is, so you all know what the Carnegie Medal is, I hope. Yes?
No.
So the Carnegie Medal is and we'll talk about it later on here, I have no doubt. It's the prize given to the best book written for children and young people, published in the English language in the previous year. The Booker Prize is the equivalent for adults. It is considered to be the most prestigious book award. If you're a novelist, writing in the English language, it is considered the most prestigious award. Now, we got some examples of past winners on the table here. Someone very excited, I think it was Phoebe, very excitedly, it was Esther, very excitedly noted this one. So this one was a joint winner. A joint winner with this one, Go One Another.
Terrible punctuation.
That aside, good winner. And yeah, it's considered to be really prestigious. Now, what I thought we'd do, because we haven't read the books, or at least most of us haven't read the books, we're going to do a little bit of Booker bingo. Okay? Now, this is why I was talking about you getting into pairs. So, here are all the shortlisted books, okay? And within, there is a Booker bingo sheet, okay? And I'm going to give you about 15, 20 minutes, something like that, to go through the sheet and tick off the things that you spot in it. And what I want you to do is, give an example, first-person narration. If you spot its first-person narration, tick it, and then just write a bullet point or two as to why you think the author has chosen that. How does it contribute to the narrative of the book, and so on. Okay, so go through them all. Then the last two aren't bingo. First of all, I want you to say why you think this was Booker shortlisted. Don't just write because it's a good book. That's a bit lame. Think about what I just said about it being the most prestigious book. Past winners, you can look at the Booker website if you want to help you, sort of give you some ideas as to what it's all about. So write a sentence of why you think this book was shortlisted, and then any other comments that are not covered by the bingo. And then we'll all come back together and we'll talk about our findings. Is that all clear? Yes? So remember I said about the pairings, can then we make sure we have an older student with a younger student? Yeah? Lucy, could I ask you to close off the camera? So we'll see you all shortly. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So we've all had a chance to go and fill in our bingo cards. Well, I'll start us off. So the book that mine was paired up with was a Ruby Redford one. So what do you think? What genre do you think my book might be in?
Spy.
Yes, absolutely. So now, follow my lead. The way I'm going to do it is the way you'll need to do it when it's your turn. Okay, so I'm going to read you the blurb first. Sadie Smith, a 34-year-old American undercover agent of ruthless tactics and bold opinions, is sent by her mysterious but powerful employers to a remote corner of France. Her mission, to infiltrate a commune of radical eco-activists influenced by the beliefs of an enigmatic elder, Bruno Lacombe, who has rejected civilization, lives in a Neanderthal cave, and believes the path to enlightenment is a return to primitivism. Sadie casts a cynical eye over this region of ancient farms and sleep villages and finds Bruno's idealism laughable. But just as she is certain she's the seductress and the puppet master of those she surveys, Bruno Lacombe is seducing her with his ingenious counter-histories, his artful laments, and his own tragic story. So that's the blurb. So, I went through the sheets. So, you get your sheets in front so you can see the order. So, first person narration, yes it is. And the reason I think that Rachel Kushner, the author, went for that is because it allowed her to really get inside the head of a cynical and knowing voice. And she makes some very, very subjective observations. I've actually got one that I bookmarked earlier where she talks about the difference between the ideal Europe and the real Europe. And yeah, she's very, very cynical, as the blurb thinks. So that's why I think she did that. Is it non-linear? Yes, it is. It's a complex spy narrative. Anyone who's read John le Carré, for instance, will know that there's lots of time hopping, lots of backstory and adding things together. It's not historical. It's contemporary. It's a female protagonist. I think she chose that because women, even though we are living in an increasingly progressive age, women can sometimes perhaps be a bit vulnerable to charismatic cult leaders. So I thought there was a comment on that. It's a non-British setting. It's set in France, and that's another classic spy novel staple, globe-trotting. Then I got a series of crosses. And next up, the next tick I got was the epigraph. Now, the epigraph, the quote at the beginning is from Twelfth Night. And I think that's because she's focusing on the idea of identity swapping. Yeah, you're all familiar with Twelfth Night, right? And the cross-dressing, double-crossing. I think there's a bit of that going on there, potentially. It's genre fiction, yes. It's spy genre, yeah. Friendship, not really. Third-person narration, no. More than 300 pages, yes. And I think it's because it's quite a complex narrative. Lots of backstory, like I said. Lots of plot twists. Again, another classic of the spy genre. So I think it was Booker shortlisted because my guess is that it's going to be an interesting exploration of the dichotomy between idealism in the shape of Bruno, the cult leader, and cynicism, Sadie, the main character. And the last comment I wanted to make was I think this is John le Carré meets Quentin Tarantino on the basis of the little that I've read of it so far. So yeah, hopefully it'll be a good one. Okay, question?
With the Booker shortlisting, does this happen every year?
Yes, it's an annual event. Yeah, and there was this process of the shortlist, and then they announce a winner from it.
Well, how do they? What's process? What's the process?
Well,
do people vote for it? Or?
Well, they have nominations. Publishers nominate their books. Then they have a long list, which the judging panel look at, which they whittle down to a shortlist of 6. That's the stage we're at now. Then we have the winner. So there you go. Right, so that's Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner. So that's the first one, right? Who would like to talk about their book next? If there's no volunteers, I'm going to ask this group to come up. So please bring up both books. It doesn't have to be all of you. You could just have one of you if you like. Whoever wants to do the talking.
I want to stand behind Ria. I want to stand behind. No, you will stand there too.
Come on, guys. We've only got so much time here. Come on.
But you're going to talk as well.
Right. So do tell us.
Our book is called Held by Anne Michaels. I'll read the blurb first. 1917, on a battlefield near the River Escaut, John lies in the aftermath of a blast, unable to move or feel his legs. As the snow falls, he has lost his memory. A chance encounter in pub by a railway, a hot bath with his lover on a winter night, his childhood on a faraway coast. When John returns from war to North Yorkshire, he's reunited with an old friend, reopens his photography business, and endeavours to keep on living. But the past interrupts insistently into the present, as ghosts begin to surface his pictures, ghosts whose messages he cannot understand as the century unfolds before him.
Okay, can you show us what children's book it was paired with? The other book? Hold it up.
The children's book it was paired with was Remembrance, which was a Carnegie
which we talked about earlier.
Winning author. Yeah.
Anyone know this one? What do you think that might be about if you don't know it? There's a big clue in the cover. Karis?
World War II.
Not World War II.
World War One.
World War One. So this is clearly World War One. All right. So take us through your bingo sheet.
Okay. So it was not first-person narration, and I think they chose not to do first-person narration. It's actually like third-person, so you could get more of a view of a narrator looking onto them as it rolled out. It is historical because it's based on the First World War. There's no female protagonist. It is set. It's not in it's in Britain, North Yorkshire. The genre is historical fiction, and it is about friendship because he was reunited with an old friend after the war. And it's like they did do third person narration.
You don't have to talk about the ones you got across, and just talk about the ones you got taken. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's all of them.
Is that all of them?
Managed to do.
Okay, so why do you think it's been book shortlisted?
I think it's been shortlisted because, in general, books about war are very popular, and they can be written really well because you can almost get a viewpoint, and people. It really hits like close to home for most people when it's like talking about a war. So some people might have felt a connection with it.
Okay.
And the writing style, from what I've read, is actually really good as well.
Do you want to give us an example, maybe?
Yeah, let me find one. Okay. He smelled the shadows in the garden, like sweating horses in the dark, the wet dog in the grass. He heard the broken voice of the river. The moonlight, silver iodine, the photographic plate, a supernatural lake. Waiting for the reflection was that not Alfred Russel Wallace himself had said, if we can appear in the photograph, then we must produce light.
Oh, wow. Lovely. Beautiful. Okay. Does anyone got anything to add from this group? No? Okay, well, thank you very much. Okay, right.
Did I just put this on?
No, just keep with you. It's fine. Right, can I have the two Lucys now?
Sorry I'm late.
That's okay, Miss Huntley.
Just me.
Are you two keen to go next? Oh, does Hannah need to go? Okay, actually, could you go after these two? Because I think Hannah needs to go. So if you...
I actually have to leave early. So
Okay, that's fine, yeah, by all means. If you have to go, you have to go. Right, so remember, both books, please, and just follow the same drill as everyone else. We've only done 2 so far. So we've done Creation, Lake, and Held was there. And now we're on to the safety.
Oh, I said that, don't I? Again, it's...
So shall I ask the questions and then you answer? Oh, no, sorry.
So remember, don't. There's no need to talk about the ones we haven't ticked.
Okay. But we did creative answers. So.
First of all, what book is it being paired up with?
Oh, you did it in pairs, right?
Yeah.
So it was...
The one that you paired it with, which is that one. Yes.
Upheld and...
So...
Should I show?
Yeah.
We've got The Ghost of Thomas Kemp. The Ghost of Thomas Kemp. And it's got a dog on, so... It's cute. And loads of people have borrowed it, but no one's borrowed this one because it's newer.
So...
Do you want to read the blurb?
Okay.
No, so
It's been 15 years since the Second World War, and the ruler Dutch province of the Overages was quiet. Bomb craters have been found, buildings reconstructed, and the conflict is well and truly over. Alone in her late mother's country home, Isabel lives her life as it should be, led by routine and discipline, but all is upended when her brother Louis delivers his graceless new girlfriend, Eva, at Isabella's doorstep as a guest there to stay for the season. Eva is Isabella's antithesis. She sleeps late, wakes late, walks loudly through the house, and touches things she shouldn't touch. In response, Isabella develops a furry-fueled obsession, and when things start disappearing around the house, a spoon, a knife, a ball, Isabella's suspicion spirals out of control. In the sweltering heat of the summer, Isabella's paranoia gives away its desire, leading to a discovery that unravels all she has ever known. The war might not be well and truly over after all, and neither Eva nor the house are what it seems. What they seem.
Ooh. Okay, right, talk us through it then.
Okay, so
to give you a bit of a taste, first person narration, we said, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And then non-linear narrative, we said,
I think so.
And then for historical, we said,
Yeah.
tis so. And then the other things were, it was non-British setting.
I have no idea how to read it out.
What's the setting?
Where is it?
Wait, it's Netherlands.
Yeah.
It's Netherlands.
And it was 200 and something pages.
That's
and
good. 262, I think.
Okay.
And the main thing that it took was complex family dynamics, because it's like the relationship between Eva and, was it Isabella? And
Yes.
that
Her
like kind of
graceless
rivalry
sister.
type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, don't judge the book by its cover, because no one said that before. And
Of course they haven't.
it was sort of, we think it's ugly on purpose to rule out like the superficial crowd, but it was like quite a sinister cover, because like, do you have the,
Show us the cover again.
it's like she's kind of right at the centre, kind of
It's
maybe
like
symbolising
so
her
what, a series
isolation,
of doors, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
all these mysteries waiting to be discovered. Yeah.
Mm.
Anything else?
So why do you think it's made the book shortlist?
I think it's got just the right amount of like mystery, and like they always love the family stuff, I think,
Yeah.
because it's kind of like something
It's-
everyone goes through.
It's also kind of relatable.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
like problems which some adults have, I guess.
With their families when they get older. Well, maybe.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of.
Okay.
Anything else?
There was no epigraph, so
There,
that
yeah.
was
Oh yeah, yeah.
disappointing.
Ignore the ones where you couldn't find it. So why do you think? How do some of these things drive the narrative? Why is it only? Was it 260 pages? Why do you think that might be?
Because it wasn't like a huge story of their whole lives. It's more about a moment
Okay.
and like
Right.
the specific point in time of their relationship. And that's probably also why it was third person, so you can get an equal balance between the two women. It wasn't favouring one; it was showing both sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Is this one that you read, Miss Huntley?
No.
No,
not this
okay.
one. Do you think, because it's almost unique, I don't remember a year when we had somebody from Europe writing in English. Well, not, yeah. At least not from the Netherlands.
None spring to mind for me either. So yeah, so that's a USP. So the
I mean,
to
not that they're
differentiate
still
it.
living in the Netherlands. They're,
No.
they're
No,
not
but-
Dutch, but they're living here, as it were. Okay, did that?
Is the author
Yeah.
Netherlands? Because
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Nice Dutch name. Yale van der Boden.
Dutch is
That's
the
it.
language.
So, all right. Well, look, thank you very much. Thank you, Lucy. Right now, can I have the two Lucys up, please?
You can sit on the chair.
Okay, I'll sit on the chair.
You can be almost the same height
Oh, okay.
as a taller.
So
Start with the one that's been paired with first. Remember?
it's in this one.
Yes. Hold it up. So that's
Okay.
what it is.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and then the book that was given was James.
This is the only male author on the list. Which
Fun
is
fact.
almost unique.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to read the plot?
When the enslaved Jim overhears that he is about to be sold to a new owner in New Orleans and to be separated from his wife and daughter forever, he decides to hide on nearby Jackson Island until he can formulate a plan. Meanwhile, Huck Finn has faked his own death to escape his violent father, who recently returned to town. Thus beginning the dangerous and transcendent journey by raft on the Mississippi River towards the elusive promise of the free states and beyond. As James and Huck navigate the treacherous waters, each bend in the river holds the promise of both salvation and demise. With rumours of a brewing war, James must face the burden he carries, the family he is desperate to protect, and the constant lie he must live. And together, the unlikely pair embark on the most dangerous and life-changing odyssey of them all.
Okay. So, take us through it.
So, first person narration, it's written in first person, and we said to create more of like a personal connection to the characters. And then it's set in the USA, so it's not non-British, and obviously it's based on Huckleberry Finn.
Do you know much about Huckleberry Finn? The original novel?
Not
No,
much.
I've never heard of it.
Okay. Does anyone else know
Tom
Huckleberry Finn?
Sawyer, Lucy?
No.
No, okay.
Anyone else heard of Huckleberry Finn?
I don't know anything about
It's
Okay.
supposed to be the greatest American novel.
Certainly one of them.
I've
Yeah,
heard that
that's up for
about it.
debate.
I've heard that about it.
Okay.
And then friendship, it's like a massive theme within it. It's based on friendship of Huck and of James or Jim. And then more than 300 pages, yeah. And we
said that we thought it was shortlisted because it lets you see a well-known story from like a completely opposite perspective, and it's quite an interesting way to, because when you think of like a classic story, you kind of think of it from the one perspective that it's been written in, and then this is like defying that and is suddenly showing something that's really well known completely differently. So
absolutely.
So yeah.
So why do you think he chose to do that? Percival Everett, the author, why do you think he thought it was important that we have this?
I think like because like based on the themes, it's like themes around like slavery and things like that. The original is from Huck's perspective, who is a white boy, and then it's changing the perspective to the slave, and it's giving a voice to a character who in the original was being told from Huck's perspective.
Yeah, so he's a bit more marginalised, and of course the basic story of Huckleberry Finn is it's like the freedom narrative, isn't it? Because he is just kind of, I don't want to have do my chores and go to school and all my other obligations. I just want to float down the river and live an idyllic life. And of course Jim is an important character, and he is a runaway slave. And yes, is he really free because he's being a slave? So it's exploring that, and what it means. What does freedom actually mean to different groups? At least that's my take on it anyway. So yeah, so it's a sort of like a modern retelling for our age.
It's also because it's revisiting the Civil War, and that's a very popular theme. Has been for the last 5 years, really, since Donald Trump was first voted in. We had George Sanders' take on Lincoln in the Bardo.
That was an interesting book.
Which was a very interesting book. And there's this one, and then there's the Underground Railroad. And there's one other as well. Oh, that one that I read about the balloon flight.
Not Enduring Love. No, I don't know. I don't know that. Doesn't ring any bells, I'm afraid.
No. So this is a recurring theme, but it's an interesting thing, isn't it, to take it from a different character's perspective that's already very famous. Yeah. So
there you go. All right. Well, thank you, Lucy and Lucy. Good stuff. Right. So that's 4 down, 2 to go. Karis, and who's in your group?
I'm not sure.
Is it you and Phoebe? Or
Right.
yeah. So.
Also, just letting you know, this is your pen.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So the book it was paired with was Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and the book itself is Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood. So it is written in first-person narration, and it
is it linear, non-linear?
It is non-linear, I believe. I kind of got that. I mean,
Karis?
So there is a female protagonist. So it's a middle-aged woman, and it's set in Australia, so it's a non-British setting.
It's also
first Australian actually for a long time, isn't it? I
Yeah.
think since Richard Flanagan, in fact, was on there. Yeah.
It's also got an epigraph, which it's a quote from. There's two quotes actually. One from Nick Cave and the other Elizabeth Hardwick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Nick Cave? What did he say? What's the quote?
He said, "I felt chastened by the world."
By the world.
World, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good reason to retreat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Elizabeth Hardwick?
This is what I have decided to do with my life now. I will do this work of transformed and even distorted memory and lead this life, the one I am leading today. Oh, I realised we haven't actually said what the book is about.
Do you want to tell us then?
I'll just read the blurb.
Yeah, read the blurb, that's it.
Burns out and in need of retreat, a middle-aged woman leaves Sydney to return to the place she grew up, taking refuge in a small religious community hidden away on the stark plains of the Australian outback. She doesn't believe in God or know what prayer is, and finds herself living this strange reclusive existence almost by accident. But disquiet interrupts this secluded life with 3 visitations First comes a terrible mouse plague, each day signalling a new battle against the rising infestation. Second is the return of the skeletal remains of a sister who disappeared decades before, presumed murdered, and finally a troubling visitor plunges the narrator further back into her past.
Yep, goes really well with Jane Eyre, apart from the mouse plague.
So why do you think we've given you Jane Eyre? What again? Do you know Jane Eyre?
Kind of. I haven't actually read it. I know the basic.
Me either, and I don't really know the plot at all.
So the reason, I mean, Miss Putney and I did sort of have to stretch a bit when we were. It's just the gothic elements, particularly the mad woman in the attic, skeletons in the closet from the past, and there's certainly an element of that there.
Halfway through, they get a visitor from the past who changes everything.
Yeah,
so.
Upends the whole narrative, really.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got the gothic bit.
So, do you think it's going to win? How many pages has it got? Kaz?
It's got
293 pages.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I feel like it's an interesting, like, the writing style feels very, like, it's quite jumpy between, like, different times, like, as if it's kind of like a diary, but not a diary because it's in her head. And I feel like it's quite interesting, like, reading, even though, like, I haven't read much of it.
Well, it certainly sounds non-linear.
It's definitely not non-linear. I think it could possibly win.
So okay, why do you think it might have been shortlisted? You know, looking at the themes of it and.
There's definitely a lot of like I don't really know what it's about, so I can't tell.
Yeah, I get that. It's just
somebody running away from something, isn't it?
Yeah, and like
the Australian outback, which is pretty fast way to run.
There's like relationships between people and like their differences, and like I guess it could be like people could relate to it, and in a way.
Yeah, it's like it's a middle-aged woman, isn't it? So it's sort of people who sort
also
of
it's the past
moments of transition,
present, isn't it? That's another true Gothic trope. So, because again, you might meet a friend from the past. You might go back to a place that you haven't been to for years, and suddenly everything changes. Your perspective on it changes. So,
the way you.
Interesting.
Yeah, we were at different stages in our life.
I think that it got shortlisted because, from what I know, I think it has a very, very interesting plot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's certainly intrigue, isn't it? With this first, this happens, then this happens, and then it's like, wow, that's a lot. So yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, we've only got one book left now. One to go. Yeah, Esther, and this was the trio. So who wants to come up? It can be just Esther, it's fine. All three of you? Yes, okay. We're all coming, okay.
The question is who gets to sit on the chair. I don't mind.
I'm the youngest.
Youngest gets to sit in the chair, why not? So, what do we got?
Right, what have we got?
Just stand here. Okay. So we got. Oh wait, the book. But so our book was paired with Cosmic.
By Frank Cottrell Boyce.
Yeah.
Lucy, you read Cosmic?
Frank Cottrell Boyce. You know Frank Cottrell Boyce?
Right, come on, Frank Cottrell Boyce. Anybody read any Frank Cottrell Boyce?
Millions, Framed.
Millions?
No.
No.
Do you mean the sprinkles?
No, of course you don't mean the sprinkles. We mean Frank Cottrell Boyce, the author.
Cupcakes here. This is Litsoc.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Tell us about your.
So this is Orbital. Would you like to read the blurb? It's
So, life on our planet as you've never seen before. 6 astronauts rotate in their spacecraft above the Earth. They are there to collect meteorological data and conduct scientific experiments, but mostly they observe. Together they watch our silent blue planet, endless shows of spectacular beauty witnessed in a single day. Yet although separated from the world, they cannot escape its constant pull. You reach of the death of a mother, and with it come through returning home. The fragility of human life fills their conservation, their fears, their dreams. So far from Earth, they have never felt more part or protective of it. They began to ask, what is life without Earth? What is Earth without humanity? So it's kind of like science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, it's not. Ooh, Miss Antley's read this one.
No, it's not science fiction. Not in the sense that we define science fiction. Science fiction is science fantasy, really. Things that haven't happened yet. This is happening now. They're up there now.
There you go.
now in the future.
No, they're up there now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not non-fiction, but it's as non-fiction as it's possibly to get without being non-fiction. Samantha Harvey hasn't been up to space, but she's talked to people who have been. So
Okay, so we said that it was in a non-British setting because
much so.
It's a non-Earth setting, I think.
I think that's a bit obvious. And it has multiple protagonists.
It does.
And we thought that was like because like it gives you like more perspectives and experiences, so you sort of get a wider view of the story.
Which especially makes sense, as you were saying, if it's based on like multiple people's experiences in space, like in
Real life
reality.
experiences.
And it was less than 200 pages.
Yeah.
So it's like more attractive to like a wider audience.
Oh God. Rest countries, we've lived too long.
I know, right?
Oh,
Okay, keep
yes,
going, keep going.
enough.
I don't know if it is. No. And it's got third person narration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we thought that it was because shortlisted because it's quite like philosophical and sort of like is thinking a lot about sort of like the meaning of humanity. So I think it might do that like while appealing to a lot of people like this time.
And it's also like kind of family related because the mum died, so
Absolutely.
so it's
Yeah.
so family related and philosophical.
Yeah, and it's beautifully written because first it's about her dad and then it's about her mum, and it's in Japan because the astronauts are from across the globe, and so it's not. And there's nobody else apart from the wider family who we never get to hear about really. So it's about the fact that she can't be there. It's it's about family. Yeah.
So Miss Hanley's read it. What did you think, Miss Hanley? Did you enjoy
It's
it?
amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. I think it's going to win myself because I think it's so important.
Okay.
Anything else about it?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't
Molly?
think we got anything else.
No. Anybody read anything else by Samantha Harvey? She's written this wonderful, wonderful book that's told backwards called The Western Wind it says, because it's medieval, and it's about a murder. But you don't start with the murder. You start with what happened the day before.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm,
This is
okay.
the one that's set in Somerset.
Right. From Somerset to space.
Yeah. So
Do you need to go,
essentially
Andy? Do
orbital.
you need to go? You can go if you need to go.
You need to go.
It's fine. I'll catch the next bus. It's fine.
What she's done is she's taken the experiences of lots of different astronauts from the lunar program in the 60s to the space station that's happening now, and there are two astronauts that are stuck up there at the moment. So lots of people have written narratives and made programs and things. And there's a phenomenon called the overview, where if you're in space, because all you can see is the planet and the space, obviously there's the blackness of space, you can see the stars, but they're miles and miles and miles away. And then there's this planet, that's filling the whole of your consciousness. And sometimes it's blue and sometimes it's other colours. And apparently you just fall in love with the planet. Not humanity, because you can't see humanity except at night with the lights, but you fall in love with the planet. And William Shatner, who was in Star Trek for a very long time, went up last summer for the first time. He was treated to it as a special. Now he's in his 80s, and he said it's just extraordinary. Having spent years in the science fiction genre, to actually see our blue planet. And Michael Collins, who was on the Apollo 11 flight, said exactly the same thing, and Buzz Aldrin, didn't they?
Yeah.
That this is the pale blue dot was Carl Sagan talked about. Sorry, I'm off on one there. It's just what she's done is just amazing. If it doesn't win, I shall be camping outside Edmund de Val's. That
takes us rather neatly to how we traditionally end with the book of Friday Litsoc. Who would like to make a prediction, now that we've heard about all of the books, who would like to make a prediction which one they think is going to win? Be brave. I'll stick my... I'm always wrong, by the way, so I would advise you ignore my prediction. But I'm going to go with... I'll be loyal to the one that I've read somewhere. I want to go with this one.
You're going to go with that one?
Yeah.
Creation
Lake.
Okay.
Creation Lake. I just think it's very funny. It's very cynical, very knowing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm going to go with that one. So don't feel like you have to go with the one you've got. You know, you've heard about all the others. Yep, so let's...
I think I'm going to go with my one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on then, why?
Yeah. And then because it's interesting and it has a few different genres in it. It's short but not too short. And it's very relatable how we know it.
With the family, the Safekeep yours, wasn't it? Yeah.
So
interesting.
Okay.
Karis?
I think that what's your one called?
Orbital.
I think that Orbital is going to win.
Do you agree with Miss Huntley then?
Agree with me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
I think it's going to win because it's really, really interesting to hear the perspective of people who aren't even on the planet.
So it's a very different perspective.
Yeah.
All right.
Lucy, do you want to predict? Or both Lucys?
No.
No.
People want to hedge their bets.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Anyone else?
Who thinks that their book has got a chance? Now that they got, yeah? Okay, I know you do. Okay, anyone think their book doesn't have a chance? Well, yeah, okay. Strictly speaking, yeah, I suppose that's true. Okay, right, well, we'll...
Interesting. I think if it does win, it'll be a worthy winner. I mean, we're becoming... It's something like the third year. Not that it's been on the Booker Prize, but that things set in Holland have made an impact. We had that Holocaust story, didn't we?
Yeah. I know the one you mean.
Yeah,
but the title has escaped me.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
We better start wrapping up. It's 5:10. So next week, folks, Annabelle, who unfortunately is not with us this week, is going to be leading us, taking us through a journey on psychological thrillers.
Oh yes, psychological thrillers.
So I don't know what she wants. I was hoping that she'd tell us now what she wants to do, because I think she wants it to be a discussion-based one. But I'll try and catch up with her, and maybe I'll send you all an email.
Yeah.
But
so think about what book sent you running for the duvet or the back of the sofa.
That isn't necessarily horror. So yeah, psychological thriller.
Psychological thriller.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about next week. Okay. Until then, thank you for your contributions.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.